Happy New Year from RB&D Reviews. I am Rob.
And I'm Dave.
And we are kicking off 2014 with the review of Grudge Match, starring Sylvester Stallone as and Robert De Niro as two former boxing enemies. His boxing nickname is Razor, and De Niro's character, whose nickname is Kid, were huge boxing enemies back in the early 80s. And there were two matches. One of them, De Niro's character won, and the other one, Stallone's character won. And there's supposed to be a third rematch to determine which one of them is the true champion of the boxing world. And Stallone's character decided to simply retire from boxing, and that never happened. 30 years later, a TV documentary special is made on these two, and there's suddenly an interest to turn these two prize fighters into a sort of like an Xbox video game. And then when the two end up coming to record the video, old things heat up, and suddenly that third match is finally happening. And this movie was released on, I believe, on Christmas Day, and along with 6 other movies and a couple others that came out the weekend before. And this one is not doing very well at the box office, but for what it was, I thought it was an amusing movie. I didn't think it was great, but I thought it was, it had its moments.
It had a lot of like old references and comedy quirks about Rocky films and whatnot, from Stallone's point of view anyway, because there's like the one scene where he's like walking through the meat locker like he does in the meat packing plant, just like in the Rocky movies, and he's like about to hit the thing, and then his trainer's like, "Don't you even think about it," and everything. As far as like De Niro's like character, he's like the same kind of like tough. You want to mess with me, you want to bullshit me type, just like he always is.
They're very different, and I think most of the cast did a good job with their performances. Like, again, Stallone's character is a little bit more reserved and quiet, and De Niro's character, he doesn't take crap from anybody pretty much, and I thought of the two of them, he was really funny, a little bit more loudmouth type.
Yeah.
Let's see, Kevin Hart plays the agent or promoter that gets this whole thing up and running, and I know he's done a few stand-up comedy films that got released. I don't know how many movies he's made up to this point, but sometimes he was good, but other times he came across more as a cartoonish stand-up comedy sort of thing. Like whenever he's throwing insults at the Alan Arkin character, it's like he's doing it as a stand-up comedy. I mean, if this is one of his early films, he does have a few way to go to make it a little bit more subtle and do more acting, but sometimes he was good, and he was funny, but sometimes he came across as more as a stand-up comedian, to a bit cartoonish. Kim Basinger was the character I really didn't care that much for because, again, you mentioned cliches. There's this cliche with their character that she used to date Stallone, and there were problems between the two of them, and I felt like she was not very interesting compared to everybody else in the film. And of course, we mentioned Alan Arkin. He's Stallone's trainer, and he's pretty funny in this movie too. He gets a few good moments here and there.
Yeah, Kevin Hart. He's pretty much just been a stand-up comedian up till now. Yeah, Kim Basinger's character, it was, take it or leave it, but she was like kind of like an important character in the story, but yeah, her acting was like here and there, kind of.
Yeah, I agree. She's kind of important to the story, but I felt like I didn't really have an interest in her like I did with the other characters. One of the things I really liked about the movie was the film does touch up on some satirical points. For example, whenever the two of them are in public promoting the fight, or when they're supposed to record this video game, they really go at it. People are quick to whip out their cameras or cell phones and record this and put it on the internet, which I thought was very funny because people like watching train wrecks, of course, on the internet, on YouTube and what have you, and I thought that was kind of nice too. And honestly, there's kind of two storylines going on. You get De Niro's storyline and then Stallone's. I found De Niro's to be a little bit more interesting because there's more going on with him, and then Stallone's mostly him training, and then there's a few things with Basinger's part which I didn't find interesting.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I didn't really know whether this was supposed to be a comedy or a drama because it tries to be both. 'Cause the comedy scenes,
Yeah.
I think the bits are really good. Some of the drama ones kind of fell flat for me. There were a couple that worked out.
Yeah.
There's, somebody comes back into De Niro's life, which I thought was kind of nice, but I felt like the comedy bits were a little bit more stronger here.
Yeah, because they were saying this movie could have even been like maybe like a parody to Rocky or something in some ways. So I think that's why there were so many cliches. But yeah, they pretty much listed this as like a comedy / sports drama. All in all, this film pretty much worked. It wasn't the best, but it was all right.
Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and give this movie a rented on DVD rating. I mean, it's not a bad movie.
Yeah.
I think it's amusing. You'll get some laughs out of it. So some of the dramatic stuff doesn't really work.
Yeah.
But it's a good movie to sit down and relax to at home. I don't think you have to run to the theaters to see this one.
Yeah, I'm also gonna say rent it on DVD. It's nothing worth seeing, paying the extra money and seeing on the big screen. I mean, it's not like a big action movie, and the fight was good, but you don't have to see it on the big screen. I mean, it's not the best fight of the year. This was just a comedy relief of boxing, if anything. So yeah, I'm gonna say rent it also.
Okay. All right, so that's our review of Grudge Match. We're both giving this movie a rented on DVD rating. And now we're going to open the floor to you. What did you think of Grudge Match? If you have seen it, post your comments, and thank you for watching.